This month, kids in West Hollywood and across the country headed back to class. Now that school's back in session, Professor Siriaka would like to teach you the first lesson of the year. Irony. The definition of irony is a situation in which something which was intended to have a particular result has the opposite result. For example, there's Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, a woman with zero public school experience who's now in charge of overseeing our country's public schools. For another example, there's Betsy DeVos, a woman charged with improving public schools whose agenda is to dismantle public schools in favor of for-profit private schools. Yet another example is Betsy DeVos, whose job is to protect the rights of students, but instead executes policies that endanger the rights of students. That's irony. It's also terrible. The victims of our education policies are predominantly minorities, such as trans students. Last year, DeVos repealed the Obama-era policy that required schools to allow students to use the bathrooms and locker rooms according to genders in which they identify. Then, this month, it was discovered that, for extra credit, DeVos has been ignoring, and in some cases completely throwing out, formal civil rights complaints filed by trans students. It should be noted that, according to a national survey conducted by GLSEN, 75% of trans youth feel unsafe at school. And according to the Trevor Project, 40% of transgender adults have reported having attempted suicide. 92% of these individuals attempted suicide before the age of 25. If only there was someone whose job was to protect these vulnerable students. Oh wait, there is. When it comes to protecting trans students, Betsy, you get an F. Trans students aren't the only victims of DeVos's policies. In May, DeVos told the House Committee on Education and the Workforce that schools can decide to alert ICE if they think students might be undocumented. This is a glaring violation of Plyer versus Doe, where the Supreme Court ruled that the right to a free public education extends to all young people, regardless of immigration status. According to the Pew Research Center, in 2014, approximately 3.9 million school children had undocumented parents, and about 725,000 of those children were undocumented themselves. In the past, immigration authorities have arrested parents whose only crime is dropping their kids off at school, which leads some families to choose between giving their children an education or risk getting deported. Hey Betsy, when it comes to protecting the rights of undocumented students, you get an F. But at least we can rely on our Secretary of Education to protect the most vulnerable students, those with special needs, right? Nope. Back in February, DeVos proposed a 2-year delay on executing another Obama-era rule aimed at addressing the disproportionate identification of students of color in special education. According to the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services, African American students are more than twice as likely as other students to be identified as having emotional disabilities, whether the identification is accurate or not, which can lead to stigmatization and exclusion from general education. Similarly, Native American students are identified as having learning disabilities at twice the rate of other students. Conversely, some students of color might actually be under-identified for special education services and may not receive the resources they so desperately need. DeVos's indifference toward this important policy echoes last year's confirmation hearing. When asked if she would enforce the Individuals with Disabilities Act, her response was,
"I think that is a matter that's best left to the states."
If you haven't taken Old Rich Lady Speak 101, let me translate for you. That's not my job. Actually, Betsy, that's exactly your job. The reason you aren't executing these student protection policies is A, you are too inept to do your job, B, you don't care about minority students, or C, all of the above. Hey, Betsy, I've graded your finals, and when it comes to protecting minority students, you fail. And with that, class is dismissed.